I'm vaccinating myself against the varicella virus, which is also connected to the zoster virus, to shingles. It's one of the best investments one can make in life, and also it's one of the most expensive liquids that one can buy on planet Earth. You go slow and inject the vaccine into the muscle. This is the neutralized, sterilized virus of the varicella chickenpox mixed with the diluent liquid. Injecting into the muscle is required, and it's better than injecting into the vein, into the bloodstream. So the immune system will recognize the pathogen and try to fight it, or at least to learn about the pathogen, so that in the future it will recognize the varicella or the pathogen. There are wonderful vaccines. The varicella one is the more modern one, so it's a good health insurance which pays off for a long time. I'm going extra slow. It's like halfway in. No pain, no nothing. It's a good thing when you vaccinate yourself, you protect yourself, your family, the people around you. It's a very good thing. And then you protect yourself against the long-term harmful diseases that live in your body without being recognized by the immune system. Like the varicella one, the adult varicella is a serious issue. When you go to the beach, you can see many people infected by varicella have some kind of pimples and red spots during the hot days and when they're sweating. So they get visible side effects of the infection of varicella, and they just live by their whole life, suffer without knowing, treat the symptoms. The best thing is just go get the cure instead of treating the symptoms, and the vaccine is the cure. There are vaccines against many diseases, and there are going to be more and more vaccines. Hopefully they will become cheaper and more affordable. But it's the best type of health investment that one can make. Okay, let's squeeze a little bit. Oh, when you squeeze it kind of creates a little bit of pressure in the muscle. But not much. Okay, let's finish that. Okay, the needle is... Okay, that's it. Let's see. Okay. That's it for the vaccination. Let's put this aside. Any blood comes out now. So, and then if the immune system is okay, it's probably going to be very okay. Like the polio and the influenza ones, they make the muscle stiff. This one probably won't do anything. Oh, let's see the side effects, what happens. If I'm lucky, I get fever. If not, then no. So this little thing costs 45 euros. It's the Varilix one, or the Varivax one, or the Ocavax one. Third world countries have cheaper vaccines, so in case you are traveling, you can also buy yourself a present and get vaccinated in some clinic or pediatrician or a large pharmacy in some city, a major city in somewhere like India or South Asia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia, wherever you travel, and vaccinate yourself on the cheap. Or Cuba. Cuba is great for vaccines. One of the best. Okay. Before you inject yourself or your child with a vaccine, there is some preparation to do for the side effects. The side effects of the vaccine might be nausea, diarrhea, upset stomach, fever. Probably the most serious is the fever, and then you want to be prepared for the fever for 1 or 2 days of fever, or for the fever of yourself or of the child. In this case, it's just a varicella vaccine, probably not so much fever as much as the influenza vaccines. So for the time that you might have the fever, you want to take a few days off, like 1 or 2 days for the weekend, and you want to be prepared before you vaccinate yourself or your child at home or with the doctor. So the good preparation is when you have a light food, simple food, and lots of water. For the fever you always need lots of water. In this case I have 5 liters and 5 more, so 10 in total would be enough for 10 days. Mineral water should be good enough and near to the bedside in case you get the fever. And some light food like fruits, some kefir yogurt, some bread and mushrooms and light vegetables. Only light food. Like vegetables is the cooked vegetables is the lightest food to process. So probably just cooked vegetables in the water. And then for the vaccine itself there is the alcohol for disinfection and iodine solution. And you want to keep the vaccine refrigerated. In this case I'm just using the package of refrigerated frozen mushrooms, and the vaccine costs just 45 euros. Good enough for the cure of a potential disease that can be a long-term disease with side effects, with a chronic illness for life. So you just get the cure for life or for 20 years, as long as it is active in the body, the immunity. Okay, let's see what's in the package. This is the contents of the package of the varicella vaccine. The Varilix or the Varivax one or the Okavax one in India. Like the Indian vaccines are cheaper in India, so inside there is just this paper. Take the paper and then you read the side effects, and then you prepare yourself for the potential side effects. It doesn't mean they occur, but maybe they occur, so you can prepare yourself, like taking a day off, preparing for the fever or for the vomiting, just preparing the water or the food that you like when you have the side effects. So this is the powder, must be inside is the powder of the vaccine with the neutralized virus of the varicella, and this is the syringe with the diluent, with the water and maybe some salt. Not sure if it has salt inside, like 1% salt and a little bit of, and the rest is water. And not sure if there is a preservative also in, and one large needle for injecting the water into the powder and then mixing it with the water. It is sterilized water, by the way. And a small needle for the injection. It's as simple as that. Just apply the large needle, push the water inside and then into the syringe, and then apply the small needle for injecting into the body. The small one is so small it doesn't produce any pain, so vaccine is actually painless. Okay, let's vaccinate. Okay, after the vaccination, what you want to do, you want to put your sticker from the bottle of the vaccine into the vaccination immunity pass. You want to write the date, the name, and then you can leave some other space for the next injections, because it might require 3 or 4 injections for the 99% immunity. So, and this for your reference and for travel when you want to enter a country that's very strict on vaccination. This is basically for your reference, for the reference of the doctor, for the reference of your children, and for yourself and everybody. Basically, it's just collecting this type of stickers is the best type of collection of stickers. The vaccination stickers are the hardest, more expensive to collect than the usual stickers that the people collect, and they're very honorable. This is much better than going on rampages, spending, drinking, boozing, meaningless vacations, vacations, staycation. Just go get vaccinated, get a blast. And now let's go to Wikipedia and see why varicella vaccine is a good thing. So this is the zoster, the shingles, the type of herpes that you get if you are not vaccinated, and the risk factor for being infected by the varicella or shingles or zoster or this type of herpes is just be among people, travel by public transport, go to the beach, just touch people in the crowd when you go to a festival, event or a street. So the risk factors include old age, poor immune function, and having chickenpox before the first 2 years of life. So in case you had a chickenpox or the varicella in the first, as a child, if you had it, you are actually potential target for varicella later on. If you get older, sometimes it just lives in you without producing any immune response. If you wanna play the lottery, just play it, or if you don't want to play the lottery, just get the vaccine and then try to avoid the herpes and the shingles and the irritation and the infection like that. It also, one interesting effect of the varicella and the shingles is that it lives in your nervous system, travels to your brain, eats your brain year after year, and you get dumber and dumber until you no longer can fight the virus. Another good thing about the varicella vaccine is that the varicella zoster virus is connected to the herpes simplex virus. They belong to the same family of viruses, so there must be some type of a crossover, and maybe there is some increased immunity against the herpes if you also vaccinate yourself with the varicella or the anti-zoster vaccine. The zoster vaccine is just same as varicella but in a very high amount. So in case you get like 3 or 4 doses of varicella vaccine separated by 3 months or half a year each, you would be also possibly immune against herpes simplex and zoster, which will prevent you being dumb in the old age in case it eats your brain step by step. And one can say that there is no vaccine or immunity against stupidity. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. If a disease can make you dumb and sick and stupid by eating your brain, like this herpes or the syphilis or the varicella or the long-term influenza infection or the very long-term HPV infection or the gonorrhea infection, they're all connected, same type of family. So if you have these infections for a long time and they're permanent, chronic, it slowly eats your nerves, your muscles move a little bit, you get stiff and you complain, oh, I'm old, I'm not as flexible. No, you're not old, you're just infected with some type of bacteria or virus that kept eating your nerves and your brain step by step. You become grumpy, irritated and everything. You might not show these side effects because your body got used to the infection. But then again, a lesser clarity of the brain is a worst symptom you can get. Forget this pimples and the rash on the skin. The most important effect is that you get dumber and irritated in the brain and you do things that you might not want to do. You're less effective as a person in personal life and in public life. So getting vaccinated is a good, very good investment for yourself, for your family, for the people around you, the people you like. And it's the best investment into the future. Once you get older, you at least know, okay, I'm gonna avoid some side effects of the old age in case I'm vaccinated. The Wikipedia says that it's estimated that about a third of people develop shingles at some point in their life. So the vaccine against shingles is the same as the varicella one, but in a higher dose, I don't know, like 5 times or 10 times higher. And it also costs 3 times more, 165 or 45 at the moment. And just the varicella is 45. Or if you're in India, you're in luck. It's very, very cheap in India. Just get 4 doses separated by, I don't know, 3 months, half a year each, and then you get immunity. You be in the top 30% of the world who are immune against this disease and many others that are connected to it. And there is also like similar diseases that are caused by the same type of families. There's the herpes simplex, angina, insect bites, or shingles. I know it's similar conditions, but the herpes simplex and then the shingles is, and the chicken pox. There are many diseases and many types of viruses and bacteria, and if you can just vaccinate against them, you win at life. So it's a good investment. There's a good diagram of how the varicella, the herpes, and the zoster virus and the similar viruses live in your body. They live in the nerves, those bad things. So they remain in the nerve, and then after they ate enough of you, they just activate, and then they eat more and more of the nerves, and then they travel up to the top, where they deposit and then this flower when they bloom. So in case you get this, the rash, the spots, you think, oh, just nothing, just a little rash. Actually no, this little rash comes from long-term infection that was living inside of you, and then it became hot, you were sweating, the conditions are ripe, so they become to flower, and their flowers are these blisters and the pimples and the rash, so that they can distribute to other people. That's their logic. You can treat the outer symptoms, you can just treat the rash and then it goes away. You can treat it, but the cause of the system, of the problem, is in the nerves, deep in the nerves. It can travel to your brain, it can eat your brain step by step. So if you don't get vaccinated and then you have the rash, okay, that's a game to play. You have the symptom, you kind of know something is living inside of you. It's not just a temporary thing, not just a thing for the hot days. If you get the pimple on the rash on the skin, it already means, okay, this thing is living inside of you, and now it's so powerful and so ready, it just wants to jump out and infect other people. So you want to avoid all of this, just get vaccinated. Okay, and here is the fact why you should get a varicella vaccine to 100%. It's just the deciding reason. So the varicella zoster virus has been it has a high level of ineffectivity as a worldwide prevalence. Shingle is reactivated and latent as an infection. And the zoster virus, so the more severe form of varicella, can occur in somebody who was previously infected by chickenpox or like this scientific name varicella. So in case you did have the chickenpox infection as a child, yes, you are to 100% like the target person for zoster virus. In the old age you get the stiff muscles, stiff neck, pain, rash, dry skin, and lots of complaints and inflamed brain. And in case you didn't get the chickenpox and you are still not immune to them, you are lucky if you get the vaccine. You get the vaccine, which means you'll be immune against the varicella chickenpox, and then also because it's connected to the zoster virus, so you will not get the zoster virus because you can prevent it. So it's one of the best things you can do. You eliminate 2 diseases with 1 vaccine. Good enough, good enough. It's like a 2-in-1 investment. There is no downside to it at all. I hope this video was helpful. It was making it easy and understandable. If you want to decide that you want to vaccinate yourself as an adult, or if you want to vaccinate as a child, or just to form an opinion about vaccines, about the amount of vaccines that people get, and if it could be okay or not okay. So you have to consider the trade-off of the investment. Some investment into the vaccines, and you avoid the potential mortality or disability, debilitating disease, infection of the mind, infection of the nerves, infection of the brain, stiff necks, stiff muscles, coughing, some nasty spots on the legs, on your chest, on your mouth, some cancer. Or you just tell to yourself, no, I'm an anti-vaxxer, I don't want to spend money, I don't want to vaccinate myself and my children, I better stick to the diseases, viruses, and the potential cancers. And I just take all of the other things as a reward for that. Or you say, I go invest and I don't have to worry about diseases. You save time, you save money, you save the pills for the treatment. Just if you make this small investment, just 3 doses or 4 doses if you want to be 99% sure. It's a good investment. Just drop 1,000 on all the booster vaccines and all the vaccines you can get, and save like multiple thousands on the possible treatments of the diseases that you prevented for yourself. Think about it, how many days of vomiting, how many sick days you can prevent just because you vaccinate yourself. Think of how many years you can longer live if you prevent some type of cancer that are caused by the diseases which are preventable by a vaccine. Think of how many days you save that you don't lie in bed with fever just because you vaccinated yourself well against diseases and against the similar diseases that are related to the ones that you vaccinated yourself against for. In case you need more facts, more convincing evidence, just go read the Wikipedia about vaccines and then read about the types of the diseases they prevent and about the viruses and bacteria that cause the diseases, and see the family of these viruses and bacteria, and then you understand that the vaccines prevent more diseases than you pay for. So it's the best investment you can make in life for the healthcare. And now like 1-2 hours have passed after I vaccinated myself. No side effects, no vomiting, no rash, no heat. But I'm very hungry. Didn't eat for 15 hours. So the hunger is only side effect I get from the vaccination. In case it's a baby, probably more side effects, because the baby will cry and cry and cry, and then it will inflammate itself and get the red. And if you are a good adult, if you are calm and balanced, there's basically no side effects. Okay, have fun, vaccinate yourself. Be safe and healthy.